Hi, I'm Sydney. Welcome to the Forbidden Cities, a Keeper of the Lost Cities podcast where Jaycie and I talk about Keeper of the Lost Cities books, theories, characters, ships, and more. Chapter 24, actually. Okay, yes, this just got on my nerves. So Sophie says, okay, so they're talking about what was their message for destroying Broomvale. I think I know what it is, Sophie mumbled. You came up with the idea for Project Moonlark in Broomvale, right? When he nodded, she added, I bet they wanted to remind me that I'm just an experiment, and experiments can fail. And then Mr. Forkle shakes his head. Actually, I believe the message was meant for all of us. They wanted us to know that there will be no more rest, and that nothing we care about is safe. Oh, great, because that's better, Sophie muttered. And then Forkle says, it's not, Mr. Forkle admitted, but it's simply a message, and messages can be ignored. Oh, I just found another note I wrote, and it says, can Forkle shut up, please, right there.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I love how much you hate
Anyway,
Forkle.
I used to love him. I'm just mad. Like, actually.
Yeah.
Actually.
Dude, you turned on Forkle faster than Sophie turned on Kenrick and Orly.
Yes. Yes, I'll admit it. I'm mad at him. And
She hates Kenrick, too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, she doesn't. She's
like,
scared of him.
I'm not sure that he deserves that.
Okay. Anyway, and then I wrote, oh, sorry, I'm messing with my microphone. I should not do that.
Yeah.
Forkle, at some point in the last episode, I said something about if Forkle doubts that Gisela's a conjurer, I'm going to lose my cool. He does. Hold on. So, Sophie says, she glanced at Edeline. Unless they conjured the weapon, Mr. Forkle's eyebrows raised. Sounds like there's something you haven't told me. There is. Sophie explained about Lord Cassius's memory and how Lady Gisela slipped and revealed he's a conjurer. You have to admit that makes sense, she said when she finished. Mr. Forkle turned toward the ocean again. It's a definite possibility.
What?
Though it seems strange that she would suddenly start using the ability after going to such lengths to hide it for all this time.
What was she hiding it for,
goodness.
Forkle? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. I'm just so annoyed because she's clearly, Sophie's connecting things. She's like, well, maybe Gisela conjured it, which I think we find out is true.
Yeah, we do.
And he's like,
because we watch her conjure a bomb later.
Yeah. It's a definite possibility. Anything he says, I'm just assuming it's wrong now.
And also, why are they so, like, you should never trust Augusta? You know what they always say? Like, when have you ever said that? They just stick
Wait,
it, like,
where?
I think at the end of chapter 24. But I was like, when has anyone ever said, you know, they always say you should never trust Augusta.
It's at the end of chapter 25. We're going to get there in a second.
Yeah.
That was weird,
Dude.
too. Yeah.
Yep. Bestie. Okay. Anyways, do you have anything else in this chapter?
I have one last thing, and it's right at the end of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it. It's where he tells her to go to school. Okay, he tells her to go to school, and he says, I know you're frustrated, Miss Foster. And she says, of course I am. They've never seen our exploding towers, and all you want me to do is go back to school and pretend everything's normal. Sophie is right. She should not be going to school at a time like this. Why is he sending her to school?
Yeah.
Why are we not listening to her?
Like, actually,
They've never seen our
literally designed her for
towers.
this, but you're like,
Yes, had they figured things out earlier, she possibly could have had more time, because then we find out there's a countdown, and it's already started to when they're going to go get the power source.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It just makes me so mad, because she's so right, and she's not always right, but here she's right.
She's pretty often right, though. She's just ignored.
Yeah. She's usually right with, like, some slight tweak. But maybe if they would listen to her, they would figure out that little tweak.
Yeah, instead of just dismissing everything she says.
Yes.
Yeah.
So annoying. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm done now.
Dude.
I'm really mad at Forkle.
No, I totally agree.
This has been 3 episodes of me
Why is he doing
mad
this?
at Forkle. Okay.
He was the dumber twin.
Moving on. Oh, wait, that's kind of sad because he's doubting himself because he doesn't have his twin.
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's why he's doing so bad. Maybe they used to always, like, bounce their thoughts off of each other, but now that he's gone, he's just like, yeah, all I got is this, and it's not smart.
Wait.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, Lodestar Forkle was super smart. He was on to something.
Uh-huh.
But this Forkle is
Okay.
not.
Yeah. Okay, so, sorry, guys. Maybe Forkle, maybe he's not an op and not Forkle.
Well, he still might be. He still might. I think that's kind of,
that's
kind of a good theory. Especially with it being like, Gethin is weird and we should be suspicious of him. Well, yeah, maybe that. But who knows?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
my next
anyway.
note is in chapter 25 or 26, I think. It's on page 408. So do you have anything before then?
Let's see. 408. I'm on page... I'll just tell you my notes real quick. It's
Okay.
talk about the death for the never-seen spiral, then talk about how Sophie spirals about Keith and yells stop, and then talk about never trust a Guster. So that's what
Never
I've got
Trust a
for you.
Guster is crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, my next one is in chapter 26. So tell me about your notes.
Okay. So I want to talk about Sophie's spiral about how she's actually going to kill the Neverseen. So it's just they're talking Bianna, Dex, and Sophie. Oh yeah, we got to talk about like what's going on. So now they're back at Foxfire. Bianna, Dex, and Sophie are talking, and I just wanted to point out Sophie's spiral. So Bianna says, "I know. I promise I won't be so shocked the next time you take a stand." Sophie says, in her head, "The next time." Sophie hated those words, but there would be a next time, and another, until she finally found a way to end this. No, until the Neverseen were dead. She needed to stop thinking in vague, easier terms. Prison wouldn't be an option. Vespera, Gisela, and Gethin had all escaped from prisons. Any permanent solution was going to involve death. The more she made herself accept that, the more she'd be ready to make it happen, especially if she was diligent about Rose's lessons. Then she talks about how she can feel the dagger, and she brought it to Foxfire. And yeah, anyway, I just wanted to point out her spiral, probably foreshadowing. Also scary.
Also, she just brought a
Getting
weapon to
real.
school, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's allowed
That's
there,
true.
I guess, since like they don't have to worry about it.
Book 2, Sophie would get sent to Exilium.
Yeah, literally. Dude, she got sent to Exilium over like getting her abilities healed or whatever.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that was something.
Okay, my next note is just this whole scene. Probably, Bianna said, but it's happening, etc., etc. Detention, another place Sophie used to run into Keith. He always found a way to sit by her, and sometimes he'd lean in and whisper in her ear, or, "Stop!" Her cheeks felt like they were going to spontaneously combust when she realized she'd said the word out loud. "What's wrong?" Bianna and Dex asked, as everyone else turned to stare at her.
Dude,
and everyone
she's gotta stop saying
scanned the
this out loud.
atrium for threats. The bodyguards are scanning for threats. And then she says, "Sorry, I just realized that I need your help finding my session."
Dude. That's
she
so
keeps
funny.
yelling out loud. So funny.
She's so bad at this.
I just want like a cut scene of just Sophie yelling "stop" and then the silence afterward as a meme.
And then just everyone
Just
looking
yelling
at
it
her
in the
being
middle.
like,
Yes. You need to find some movie scene like that where someone just yells something out of nowhere
Dude,
and
okay,
then
I'll
everyone
write
looks.
that
That would be a great meme.
A scene of someone. That's really funny.
I can't believe she's just yelling "stop" in the middle to get herself to stop thinking about Keith. It makes me so happy and it's so funny.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yep. Now we have, in my experience, you can never trust a Guster.
Yeah, which is random. Why? Who
Yep.
says that again?
It's her mentor. It says he told her it was because the wind is unpredictable, just like those who control it, which shouldn't have sent chills crawling down the edge of her spine. And then she says, but now they were trying to set up a meeting with Trix, and almost as if her mentor knew, even though he couldn't possibly, he lowered his voice and murmured, "In my experience, you can never trust a Guster." Okay, is this sus? Is this a Neverseen member? Or is this just weird stuff Shannon stuck in there? Or is this,
I don't
what
know.
is this?
And I feel like it factors into, like, okay, a lot of the series theme right now is, like, prejudice against the talentless and against the bad matches and, like, pyrokinetics. So now maybe this is just supposed to be, like, another example of, like, oh, we judge people on their abilities. But also I feel like it's really specific and random. And it's supposed to be a warning, like a false warning about Glimmer to make us feel like people aren't trusting her. Because she's a Guster, right?
No, she's a Flasher.
She's a Flasher.
Trix is a Guster.
Right,
so,
right.
The easy way to read this is, okay, it's just Shannon foreshadowing how Trix is going to turn on them in a few chapters.
Yeah.
The other way is, like, why is this mentor
so intense about
telling her, so specifically telling her right before she goes to meet Trix?
Yeah.
It's just odd. Just interesting.
Is. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I think before that, like, early in 26, Morella says that so she's talking to Sophie, and she's like, I'll always love doing this, and, like, sparks the fire, and she's like, but that doesn't change the fact that I never wanted to be our world's newest, sort of known, sort of secret pyrokinetic, and I definitely didn't want my ability lessons from a murderer who loves to tell me how much I remind him of himself, which is a little bit suspicious.
That's true.
But anyways, that, and then, of course, I had notes about Fitzfee. Mine was just, I die because of the entire thing that happens at the end of this chapter.
Okay, so I was just grossed out.
Fitzfee.
Yes, I was just grossed out early on because something to do with the way his white level 6 uniform stretched across his broad shoulders.
Ew.
And then
Don't describe
her
Fitz
pathetic
like that.
heart did a little flip. But then she says, whatever it was, the feeling was very short-lived. So she had a little moment of feeling, and then it's gone.
And she's like, never mind.
Oh, and then Morella says, ooh, we're going to get some Fitzfee drama, and Fitz rolls his eyes. Early on.
handling this really well.
So
really
well.
maturely.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
He's showing all
and
his
then
red flags.
Yeah, Morella says, where's Keith when we need him to make a joke about Fitzfee? Sophie says, far away, and then Dex is like, you okay? You look a little twitchy.
Twitching?
Yep.
I love
then
Dex
Tam
saying
just-
that as if he's not, like, fully aware.
Yeah, true. Yep. And then Tam just melts out of the shadows, which is kind of funny, and everybody jumps. Like, this as a movie would be so funny.
It would
generally.
be really funny.
Yeah.
I feel like how do I put it? Like, the physical comedy of, like, just the situation is sometimes really funny. Like, Sophie yelling stop, or Tam just jumping out of the shadows all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yep, eye rolling constantly.
Yeah. All the snarkiness.
All the snark.
This is vaguely related, but I remember the thing I was going to say. I was scrolling Instagram, and I found just a beautiful song this girl wrote about Keith, and I'm going to put it on the Forbidden Cities meme story. I think I sent it to you. But it's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I sent it to you from the Forbidden Cities account to your normal account. So, it's like new. It's like 7 weeks old at most. It is beautiful. It's not cringe at all. It's not, oh my goodness. It's so beautiful. Literally, I'm going to die. So I'm putting it on the story today, and I also sent it to you.
Okay, sounds great. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to put it on when it already had 2 things in the story because I want people to see it. So
Fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways.
So then we have Tamlin drama.
Yes. Oh yeah, I remember being like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, and on the, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it's the cover of it's got to be the cover of Unlocked in French. By the way, Wiley and Lynn are like flirting on the cover.
What?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I took a
Excuse
screenshot.
me,
I'm
what?
I'm going to text it to you.
What?
It's the French cover of something, but obviously I can't read it. But it's like a reversible cover. I took a screenshot. Yeah, it's the cover of 9.5. If you zoom into the panics tree, Wiley and Lynn are flirting in like the corner on the left side.
The French have a different cover?
Oh yeah, it's like a reversible cover, and this is one side of it. It's Havenfield. It's beautiful.
They get a different cover?
It's like on the inside flap of the cover, and they can reverse it, so this is the outside.
Oh, I see. Why don't we get this?
I know!
Oh,
it's just because I was clicking on the hashtag.
Oh, interesting.
I know! Isn't it beautiful?
See, because I noticed in this exact chapter, I kind of thought they were like dropping the Lynn. Yeah, the Lynn and Wiley thing. But right here, Sophie says, can someone basically, can someone tell Wiley? And Lynn and Maruka
Lynn's
both say, I can do it. Yep.
Oh, yeah, because Maruka's like his cousin or something, and Lynn is
Mm-hmm.
apparently flirting with him.
Mm.
I love it. I ship it so hard.
Yeah. I've never seen this cover. This is...
I know.
What is
No,
this?
yeah, this is
What
new.
is this scene?
It's from, I have no idea. I thought it was beautiful, though.
Yeah, it is. Wow, I hadn't seen that. For a second, I thought you meant 9, like book 9, and I was like, when did this happen?
No, yeah,
What?
it says 9.5 on there.
Yeah. Oh, Sophie's wearing her classic outfit. I like that outfit.
Oh, I love it. I love
The exile outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that whole... I want our covers to look like that.
Right?
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Okay. Back to the book. Oh my gosh. He annoyed me so much also. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh my
listen to the
goodness.
beginning of their conversation. Just the very beginning of the Sophie and Fitz telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, but I'm really okay. Hopefully the council will approve the meeting with Trix soon and... You really still want to go ahead with that? Fitz interrupted. She literally says one thing to him. He says, I'm here if you need to talk. She responds, and he interrupts her mid-sentence. And then I just can't believe...
He drives me crazy.
Yeah, and then the next description of him is he argued, he countered. He's so combative.
He's just as bad as Forkle.
Fitz dragged a hand down his face. Also,
Bruh.
this is funny to imagine because no one around them knows what they're saying to each other.
Yeah, so he's like just like
dragging.
throwing himself around, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
what's wrong
He
with
countered,
him?
he argued, he
Pouting like a
dragged a
toddler.
hand down his face. He sighs. And then Sophie's jaw falls open. Just imagine if you just see this.
It's
Like,
no
Fitz
wonder like
dragging a hand
Biana
down
in a
his
second
face.
is. I think it's Biana. Someone's like, you want to tell us what conversation you're having?
Yes. Yep.
Would you like to share with the group?
Okay, so we have Fitz drags a hand down his face, then he sighs dramatically, then Sophie's jaw falls open, and then Fitz pinches the bridge of his nose and he has a headache, and then Morella says, wow, major Fitzby drama. He grits his teeth and yells, stop calling us Fitzby. That's not a thing.
That's crazy.
Goodness gracious.
He's supposed to be like 17.
Yeah. Whew. I'm proud of her for just walking away, though.
I know. I literally was saying, like, he would have ended up in a screaming match with me. Absolutely not. Like,
Yeah. She just stands up and
Bestie.
walks out.
I would have screamed, and then I would have cried, and then I would have stopped out.
Oh, this reminds me of some people I know. Just saying.
Real.
You know which.
I
who
know
I'm talking
exactly
about.
what you're talking about. I can't.
I think you
can't wait for the- Oh, I do. I remember this. Yeah. Yeah, it's something.
Anyway. Yeah,
Yep.
okay, 27.
Okay, the main thing going on in this is Sophie and Jaycie talking about the fact that his, like, brother... What was he talking about? Something... Okay, I wrote down... Jaycie hasn't manifested at this point, and he mentions again that
Yes.
his brother's a phaser. Interesting.
Which brings up the theme you keep mentioning of the talentless and
Yes.
how unfair it is. And
Specifically because his
yeah.
parents were each other's top matches, which brings up the problem in the matchmaking system again.
Yeah, sorry. I got distracted because I saw where it says poke, 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 and
I
I read
know,
it
I
as
was laughing
pokey,
at that.
pokey, pokey,
And
pokey.
then
I
this,
don't
you
know
didn't
why.
make it up. You didn't make it up because this is the sweet and sour chicken thing.
Yes!
It is
I
real.
knew it! Yay! Yes.
Which I sent you a meme about that we can't talk about on, like, we can't post it because it does have a bad word in it, like, really bad.
Oh,
And
yeah,
we're pretty
that was
PG,
funny.
but, yeah. But someone also made a meme
Can we
about it, so I
redact
saw
it?
the meme. Yeah,
We should
I'll
redact
redact
it.
it and put it on the story. But I'll put a note for that. But I thought it was so funny.
Once again, I'm hungry, and now I want sweet and sour chicken.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking, actually.
Yeah.
Sweet and sour chicken meme. That's
Yeah.
what I'm writing
I love
to myself.
Jaycie. I'm glad he's back.
I know.
Ish.
I know.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since he was, like, mentioned in a book, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's so cute and sweet. And maybe he'll know stuff about the Black Swan without knowing it because of his brother. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah. Well, it would make sense if his... I guess that wouldn't have happened till now. I was going to say it would make sense that his brother joined the Black Swan over like the talentless discrimination, blah blah blah. But that wouldn't actually make sense because Jaycie, like, we technically don't even know that he's talentless now, just that he's not manifested, but that his window's ending. But I do think it's interesting that we're bringing up yet again the problems in the matchmaking system, and if his parents were each other's number one matches, why is he going to be talentless? It's almost like we should just get a rule of people not to marry because they're related to you.
Exactly.
Only 500 names of people who can get married to you.
You know, kind of like the normal thing that humans do.
Yeah.
Where we just don't marry our cousins and stuff. Except for a long time ago, but we don't talk about that.
Well, the elves had to do that a long time ago, too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And those people are
I'm
still
thinking
alive.
of, like, English royalty and how intermarried they were.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Gross.
So then we have, what's its name? The Drooly Boys brought back up as well.
Yeah.
For the second time. Because they brought up Fallon, then they brought them back up.
Well, I think that they're just resident characters who we have to have sometimes.
Yes. Funny. So then we have the Inquisition, unless you have something else to add.
Nope, my next note's there too.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that Tyrgen, during this, whenever he's like, we're going to have the Inquisition, and they're like, no! And Tyrgen's like, I'm like you, Sophie. I value my privacy. Which I thought was a little thing to put in there. Mr. Adept at Misdirection. Anyways, what do you have about this?
Nothing. Just that the Inquisition gets
just that it
up,
happened.
Because a lot of my notes are just what happened.
And
so that we could have an outline to follow.
Yeah, I also said that Tyrgen said that his first reading on, what do you call this thing where they push their brain power against it?
Yes.
The koosh ball looking thing? Did he not say what it's called?
A small, fluffy looking gadget.
He doesn't say what it's called.
Yeah, koosh ball.
It said it reminded her of a koosh ball. That's a human thing. He doesn't give it a name. Yeah. Anyways, the little koosh ball looking thing, his fluffy looking gadget, he takes it out, and Tyrgen says that his was especially strong. And I said that could be evidence that he's especially strong telepath.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
And then Sophie and Fitz start arguing with each other, and Tyrgen's, like, super uncomfortable about it, and I thought that was hilarious and also possibly evidence. Because he's just like, I don't really want to see this conversation, which is exactly my dad.
Is Tyrgen a Fitzfee shipper?
Not that I know of. I mean, he doesn't really encourage the cognate thing, but he's also super uncomfortable with them talking to each other. But, like, so is everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, Tyrgen says.
So, wait, what were you going to say?
No, I just thought it was funny that Tyrgen was like, anyways, back to the cognate stuff, like, every time they were arguing.
Yeah. Oh, and then Fitz is like, oh, this is actually interesting. There's no rule that says cognates can't date. Fitz jumped in. I asked my dad. He did. So if he couldn't decide if that was really sweet or really strange, what would Fitz have done if Alden had told him no? Would he have ever confessed that he liked her? No. Would he have chosen cognates above all else?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he would have. Obviously. We know this because of the unmatchable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when Tyrgen's like, anyway.
Yeah.
What else did I say? Oh, it's definitely, it's definitely interesting that Tyrgen pales a little bit whenever he tells Sophie how sorry he was that she had such a painful mental barrage for so many years, and that he really, really wishes he realized it sooner. And it would take me a minute to pull this up, but I promise, and you can trust me, that Orly does almost the exact same thing. She pales whenever Sophie says something about, like, how, I think it was specifically about, like, the ability restrictor, or it was, like, something specifically bad that happened to her right in Legacy when Sophie finds out that she's her mom. Orly, like, pales a ton, and the sentence goes to her pretty pink self. Hold on, actually, I can find that since I know the sentence specifically. But it's another parallel, which there are a lot of those with, like, Tarek too, but because the Tyrgen theory was so solid, I feel happier saying that that's suspicious. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
It's whenever Sophie says that, just like how you couldn't stand up for Prentiss, and that's when Orly pales and says, I didn't know Prentiss was hiding you. Yeah. So, anyways, specific little parallel there.
Interesting. Yep.
Obviously, writing style, whatever. But because of the Tiergan theory, I wanted to mention it.
Agreed. Yep. Interesting.
Okay.
I'm just
All
staring
right.
at the page. Oh, okay.
Do you have anything else in
Note.
28?
Yes, thought. I love the Inquisition, the idea of it.
Yeah.
Just in general.
For sure. It does seem like a
so
cool thing.
healthy, so
Yes,
great.
Yes.
So like, how he says, think of the first step like exposing wounds. You need to see how deep they stretch and how many places you've been affected.
Yes.
And for anything that's been festering for a while, you need to let it bleed a little so it has a chance to properly heal.
Mm-hmm.
I just really healthy, really cool.
It is. And I feel like between
Go ahead.
this and the the thing, I don't know what it's called, but where Orly like helps Sophie
Us
figure out how to
constantly.
turn her
The thing.
the thing, you know,
yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
But where Orly helps Sophie learn how to control her enhancing, and it's all by like this like awareness exercise. Between those two things, like you can see that Shannon like does her research on this kind of thing. Like those are real mental
And
health
also,
exercises.
Like the
that you do in
inflicting
counseling.
stuff, how she knots her emotions.
Yes,
And stuff like that.
and
That
like
I felt
physically
at one point,
picks a place. Yeah.
Yeah. At one point, I used to remember feeling like that was helpful advice. Like, there's lots of stuff. But just the Inquisition, so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
for
also,
sure.
what's that thing Forkle does in Neverseen where he brings them and Keith is forced to watch them go to each other's emotional centers or whatever, and then they go to Keith's emotional center.
And they have to see how the response is, like
Yes.
how strong it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yep.
I don't know whatever happened to head versus heart emotions or why that mattered. Remember we had head and heart emotions, and Lord Cassius wrote the heart of the matter.
Because that was, for the longest time, that was like the Sokeef argument, and it still is. Still solid,
obviously, but like we haven't talked about that in books, and I was thinking about that.
That's
I was
true.
like, why haven't we talked about this? Or like the tell, we can make Keith. We can get any truth out of Keith that we want. We just have to ask him something and hold his pulse. Like,
true.
We can get everything we want out of him.
Out of
through
anybody.
yes or no questions. Well, out of any empath.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, it only works with empaths, which is kind of stupid of the Black Swan to pick an empath. Anyways, all you have to do is ask yes or no questions. That's it. Just a whole lot of them.
Really, are you Sophie's mom? No.
She's really easy to... Yeah, not to mention, like, obviously they can just read her mind or whatever, but, like, all you have to do is ask yes or no questions. And then you're not even breaking into her mind, like, bestie.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
I was laughing at Sophie throwing a pillow at Sandor, and then what happens here?
Captain Smoochinator.
Sandor Smoochy Pants. them roasting Sandor was so funny. Grizel kissed Sandor goodbye today as we were waiting for our turn to use the Leap Master, so now everyone's calling him Sandor Smoochy Pants or Captain Smoochinator. But wait, should it be General Smoochinator? What's your rank again? Sandor muttered about teenage elves being worse than mutant trolls. That is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, that's
Thanks,
insane.
Smoochy Pants. Sophie's literally
like
just becoming
saying-
Keith since he's gone. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So funny.
Oh,
and
not
then
Fitz
Flory.
literally having her on a pedestal. Sorry, I got ahead of you.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so they went to Fitz.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Tiergan
she's
guided
summarizing
Fitz
the
to hers.
Inquisition.
Yeah, and then she went through Fitz's subconscious, which felt like entering some kind of bizarro world. Up was down, right was left, shadows were light, windows were doors, and everything was a blur, except for the faces. She only recognized some of them. Friends, enemies, but at the center of it all, standing high on a pedestal, was her. She looked powerful, and pretty, and totally perfect. Exactly the way she would have wanted to be seen. And yet, it felt kind of wrong, kind of fake, kind of impossible. And she couldn't help wondering if that was how Fitz actually saw her, or if that was just how he wanted her to be. Did he not even realize that he thought of her that way since she was in his subconscious? And then they got to the core of Verity, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so obviously this is why he's like, well, yeah, you'll just tell me about your biological parents when you're ready, and then we'll be each other's number one match and get married, and it will be perfect. And it's like, that's a huge thing about not really knowing someone is, like, whenever you kind of like them, but you don't really understand them on a deeper level, you have them on a pedestal. He literally is putting her on a pedestal.
Yep. And not seeing her for who she is.
Yeah.
Seeing her for who he wants her to be.
Exactly. Which is just, like, he's not being honest with himself, which is probably what this whole thing is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, solving. But,
Yep.
and I don't think he realizes
it's giving
that
Sophie
he's doing
closure.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But, yeah, I don't think he realizes he's doing that for sure. Because, like,
Mm-hmm.
he's not cruel. He's just immature, you know?
Yeah.
Like, all of this, like, I get Fitz hate, but he's not being stupid because he's trying to hurt her or anything. He's just immature.
Yeah, but I still kind of hate him.
Oh, no, yeah, like, valid. But he's not irredeemable, potentially. I mean, they live for hundreds of years. Yeah.
And he'll fall in love with someone else and then
He will
realize
find
what he
someone
was
else.
doing.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is, like, that's the point. Sophie's not perfect for him. He just thinks she's perfect.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she's not.
exactly.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, sorry.
Go ahead.
The fact that he's jealous
Yeah.
was, okay, I kind of want to rip him apart, but also it makes sense for his character.
Oh,
where it says,
absolutely.
like, he'd kind of been the golden boy everyone talked about until she came along. I'm glad we got this in the open.
He's
all
such a 3, by the way. He
Yeah,
only wants
yeah.
to be with Sophie if he can preserve his social standing and also be a good match, and also he needs to be the most powerful, and that's why he likes being cognate. It's not for just the power, but, like, he needs to be the super, like, most powerful. In book 1, he was butthurt when she beat him in the splotching match because he was always the winner, and for the first time he didn't win. So, like, he's putting Sophie on this pedestal and seeing her as perfect, and, like, oh, obviously we should date. Not because of anything innately about her, but because he's the best, so he deserves to be with the best. And it only makes sense for the two best to be together.
Exactly, yep. And it's kind of not Fitz's fault. Like, he's clearly been put on a pedestal since he was little.
And he was raised that way.
Which is exactly what you were saying, yeah.
Like, that was
but
the
I'm still mad at him.
Story. That was the whole thing about why he hated Alvar so much, is because it made him look bad.
Yeah.
Which matters a lot in the Lost Cities, especially for such, like, a high nobility. That's a long way to fall.
Yeah.
But also, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of a crazy...
Yep.
Like, Bianna was able to healthily... Like, she was mean in the first book. She was kind of worse than him. But she was able to get over herself. And, like, even though, like, her literal, like, physical image has been changed forever with the scars, like, she's embracing it. She's learning to grow, and Fitz isn't.
Is this sexism in the Lost Cities? Is this because Bianna's a girl?
Well, what do you mean by that?
I just mean that, like, sometimes guys can be allowed to be immature for a bit longer than girls.
Yes. I totally agree with
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I see what you mean. I thought you meant, like, I was like, well, Bianna's maturing. She's the bigger person. But you're right.
Yeah. It just,
Yeah.
whether it's intentional or not, kind of mirrors some things in reality.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love this description where he, like, extends an olive branch, basically, and it says, she could at least see a path forward again. It was narrow and treacherous, but it was there. They just had to take it, and she wanted to. She didn't want this to be the end of everything, so she slowly pulled her consciousness back and gave herself a few deep breaths to regroup before she guided Fitz through her mind to continue the Inquisition. I just like the description of, like, you can see a path forward. It's treacherous, but it's there. I think that's a neat little description there.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love how it's not just, like, they're healing all these problems between them just, like, willy-nilly. Like, there's actual, like... No, it's... They can't just, like, go back to being friends. Like, they're gonna kind of have to tear it up and make a new friendship.
Yep. And I like that Shannon explains this all with visual language.
Yeah.
To me, it makes
I'm sure
it very...
that's, like, very vivid.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is for you.
Have we talked about that much?
I don't know.
recently?
I'll mention that I don't have a visual memory at all. Like, I'm completely face-blind, and I can't recognize people or picture anything. I can only think in concepts, so that's why I'm like, when things are described, I'm not picturing anything. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, we figured this out with, like, the whole purple apple thing. Can you picture a purple apple in your head? And Jaycie was like,
I can't picture a regular apple. To be honest with you, there are not pictures. Yeah. There's words, but yeah. So anyways, yeah. I think it's cool as a language thing, but I don't have a picture at all. Mm-hmm. Okay, related to that in short, don't worry, but whenever I write, people will leave comments and be like, wow, I can picture this so well. You did a great job describing it. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't even picture it. I just put down some words like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And then people are like, wow, I can picture this. And I'm like, can you tell me what it looks like?
I cannot even imagine. How do you come up with stuff if you can't picture
Pinterest
it?
photos sometimes, or I just like make something up and I'm like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. That would probably look cool. And then other people either say it does or
my jaw is hanging open.
Mostly,
I never thought about that.
Like, if I'm writing something that I'm really worried about it making sense, I go, like, if I want to write about a dress, for example, I Google, like, dresses that are similar to it, or, like, look on Pinterest, and then I'm like, oh, that one's cool, so then I describe the dress. I can't, like, make up one in my head that's original. If I do, I just say random stuff, and then someone's like, that's cool.
But
I don't have an image
Can you
in my
go
head.
back in your memory to remember the dress?
No. Like, if I describe it, I can't go back and remember. I can just remember facts about it. That's neither here nor there, but it's something.
I cannot understand. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but
I don't...
Remember that thing we found out about how people with languages, or people like that can pick up languages more easily? It makes total sense for you.
Yeah. Hey, I'll take the trade-off.
Like a superpower. Yeah.
It's something. I still have to learn it.
Still.
Yeah.
Wow. I cannot imagine.
I'm envious of you. You can just picture stuff, like have cool pictures. You can have a movie in your head. I need a real movie for that.
One time I laid in my grandparents' bed, like when I was like 10 years old, trying to go to sleep at my grandparents' house, and I couldn't sleep. I was like 12, and I plotted out. I don't know what I was doing, but in my head, I, like, made up a keeper movie in my mind.
Dude, that's
for, like,
so
2
cool.
hours. And I wish I could remember it, but I would lay there and close my eyes and make up movies and images. And
that's so cool.
I mean, I don't do that usually, but anytime anyone says anything, I'm picturing something. I'm never not picturing something.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's really, I don't know.
Wild.
Huh. Either I'm looking at something or I'm picturing something. Like, if I'm reading something, I'm picturing it in some form.
Yeah, I can't picture things. I actually have to, like, well, I don't want to spoil my project because I haven't actually said that I'm doing a project. But for my project, I'm, like, pasting these descriptions into the thing I'm using. And I'm getting a picture, and I'm like, what? Oh, that's cool looking. I didn't even realize there was purple grass around Foxfire, but I guess it does say that in the paragraph.
Yeah, huh.
So, anyways. Yeah.
Huh, I'm interested to see this thing you're making now, specifically because of that. Also.
Yeah, I've had to, like, reread and reread descriptions, because I'm like, I didn't even know that this looked like that. I didn't think about that. Yeah, a lot of specific things.
Oh, I'm curious to see if I, like, see something and think, oh, I didn't know it looked like that.
Yeah.
Because I do picture things.
Yeah.
Because for me, whenever art comes up for anything, it's like, okay, does this match the picture in my head? And if it doesn't match the picture in my head and it's not better, then I'm mad. Yeah. Because it needs to match the picture that I got from the description.
Because it doesn't line up with what you knew, yeah.
Yes.
That's so interesting.
Usually, Havenfield looks right. Nightfall cover, great. Most of the cover's great.
Everblaze is a problem.
Yeah, Everblaze is a problem. I feel like there's one cover. Oh, I couldn't figure out what was happening on the cover of book 1 forever.
Oh, yeah, because it's like when they're in the Forbidden Cities or whatever.
Yes.
See, I knew what it was.
Never seen? Wonderful.
Because I guess I don't picture it and have, like, a preconceived notion of what something's supposed to look like. So I, like, just deduced, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any other notes in this chapter?
I think I wanted to talk about, let me see.
I know I have something in Sophie and Adeline's conversation.
Yes, that's what I'm like a page away from my note, so I think, let me see. Oh, I have a random note here still about the Inquisition, where, let's see, I don't know if I should tell you this because I would never want you to think. Oh, Fitz says, I really want to kiss you. Not right now or anything. Just when you're ready. And then it says her mind somehow turned icy cold and scorching hot all at the same time. And the conflicting temperature swirled so fast it made her dizzy. And my note was just, bruh.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
I was mad. But then he brings up Keith, which is just interesting to note. He finally brings it up, and her brain turned into a burning sun. Fitz recoiled from the intensity of it.
Yeah. Fitz is
the heat fried her brain. She couldn't think, couldn't move. She barely remembered to breathe, and Fitz stayed equally silent.
I love it.
I can't,
dude. And once he's back to, like, we'll talk about it then, but just the way that their relationship, Keith and Fitz's, has changed since, like, the first couple of books is so dramatic. Like, when I was rereading Exile, and the way that, like, they were best friends, and now they're so, like, they don't talk to each other.
They need an Inquisition.
So weird. Or maybe
they really do.
I see, okay, because I saw it as, like, I don't know. Like, as they're all growing up, they're becoming different people. And I thought it was so interesting how they were, like, drifting apart. And, like, Stina was, I mean, you know, still Stina, but not as awful. And, like, I don't know. I just thought it was so interesting how, like, Lynn and Wiley are close friends now. And Dex is getting closer with Keith. And Keith is drifting from Fitz. Like, they're changing. Yeah. They're not the same as they were in the beginning of the series. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
However, I think those examples are a little different because Fitz pushed Keith away, and Keith sort of pushed Fitz away too. So it's more of a conflict relationship. Like, they have a problem, and that's Sophie.
It's also
and it's also Fitz's attitude, and Keith's, like, not confiding in Fitz at all, not like giving him a chance. He goes straight to Sophie. You know, it's all
that's
that.
True.
Yeah.
Even when Sophie was like, because, like, she was kind of supposed to be dating Fitz, and then Keith and her kept, like, sharing each other's deepest, darkest secrets. Which, you know, what's done is done, and I know it was, you know, personally, because of my bias, I'm like, yeah, well, that's because Keith and Sophie are supposed to date, like, obviously. But in a way, like, it kind of makes sense that Fitz was jealous of them, because, like, they were dating, and she was going and confiding with this other person, his best friend, who wasn't him. So, like, I do get why he would be, like, awkward about it, because, like, that is kind of a sketchy position.
Yeah. True. I think it's funny that Adeline's little, I'm just skimming at this point, but she's like, wow, I can't believe that worked.
I know.
She just asked her a question and then sat there.
Yeah, just waited. And Sophie still just reacting out loud to her brain was really funny.
Yeah.
Just out loud being like, never mind. Never run around.
Okay, what's your note?
Mine was on this. It's on page 475. And Sophie goes, ugh, I can't believe I'm acting like those annoying characters. And that's what I said, LOL, so meta, too.
Yeah.
Because then she's like, and Adeline's like, what annoying characters? The ones in the movies my human mom loves. They were always like, oh no, how will I ever decide between these amazingly perfect guys? Let me obsess about it endlessly and change my mind a billion times. And meanwhile, their world was on fire and they weren't doing anything about it because they were too busy thinking about their love life, and it made me want to throw stuff at the screen. And Adeline's like, okay.
Okay. In defense, Sophie, Fitz is not an amazingly perfect guy.
No.
Second, she's like, what, 16?
Yeah, and that's what
15?
Adeline says. Like, you are a teenager.
Totally different from, like...
adults.
No, actually, that's pretty different from... that's not that different from characters in movies that we see, but usually they're played by adults, so it feels different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, yeah. I love Adeline being, like, subtle, Key Foster.
Everyone
I'm just
ships
wondering,
it.
what do you want? Do you want
Do you
to
want-
date Fitz?
Do you want the anger bomb who flips out whenever things don't go perfectly his way, or the amazing speed empath who can help you and send gentle breezes to cool your mind? When telepaths are commonly
Yeah.
matched with empaths. Adeline being subtle.
Mhm. I wonder if Adeline loved Brant. Like when he was
I think
dating
they
Jolie.
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's
she said that they really
sad.
liked him. Mhm.
Scary, yeah.
Yeah. She was cool in this chapter. I made a note that
Yes,
she
yeah.
I don't know, just her personality and her way of speaking is a lot like Orly's. Obviously I'm
Mhm.
biased, but it's like the direct, indirect, soft questioning where she like clearly wants to know more but is being kind of subtle with the way that she's asking it.
But it's different from Orly because I
It
feel like
is.
Orly is very
More closed off.
more closed off and also more mysterious.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know how to
she's
explain it. Yeah.
Adeline is trying to figure it out like solely because she's trying to help Sophie, and when
Mhm.
Orly's asking, it's that she can figure something out, and that's mostly because she's not supposed to get involved probably, but also like
Yeah.
Adeline clearly
Yeah.
knows Sophie better because she's taking care of her
Mhm.
for so long, so her
And
whole thing
Adeline's
is like yeah
Adeline's very mom or
Yeah.
Orly's mom friend
yeah that's a good point.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of like I don't know. Yeah. Kind of
Yeah,
like a
it's-
cool older sister a little bit in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Mm.
I say as if I'm Orly. I'll take it personally. Me out. Thank you. No.
I just love we've talked about this before, but I love when there are good relationship examples in Keeper. Like they let them
Yeah.
make mistakes, but then they show good ways of resolving it, like with Fitz, or you have bad parents, Cassius, all the bad parents in the series, and then you have good parents. And here's a good example. Like Adeline's telling Sophie, you can take time for yourself. Repeat after me. I'm allowed to take time for myself. It's okay if I
Yeah.
don't know what I want. Like these are
Yeah.
all really, really good messages.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I like it.
I know.
Yeah.
She's great, honestly. She's really good at giving advice when Sophie's like freaking herself out.
Yeah.
And I feel like
And then
I don't know. Oh, I was just gonna say like a lot of this is just because this series didn't go dead parents, I'm an orphan trying to figure it out on my own route. Like she has like these role models and like parents
which
to
is
go
cool.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
which I think is really unique and I really like.
I agree. Yep. Yes. And, okay, one thing that I've been talking to some people about lately is as you grow up, you realize your parents are right about a lot of things, but they're not perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that's
exactly.
cool that she kind of allows that with Orly.
Yeah.
And eventually, I'm sure eventually she's going to forgive her and we're going to get that reconciliation.
Hopefully.
I think that's cool
Yeah.
too. And then Kenrick
Yeah.
too. Like sometimes people we love are morally gray, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Like people are gonna do things. They're gonna keep secrets, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're evil. It just like everyone's complicated. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
And the more you learn about someone, the more you're gonna find out that they weren't this perfect image of them that you thought. But then that doesn't mean you can't trust them.
Yeah, which ties into Fitz's pedestal thing
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
So he's gonna have to realize Sophie isn't perfect. He's gonna have to hate her a little bit, but then he's gonna be like, oh, that doesn't mean she's a terrible person. It just means that no one's perfect.
Which I think he's in that phase because he's
Yeah.
mad at her right
Yeah.
now.
And
Well,
then eventually he's gonna realize
yeah.
she isn't perfect and take her off the pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
Yep.
the point where like their cognate thing can be fine. Which, by the way, whew, if I lived in the Lecities and married a telepath and they were cognates with another girl, I'd like, ooh. Listen, I'm not the person that's built for that.
That is very true. That is a statement. No, that's fair though.
It's
That is
secrets they have
fair.
to keep from me.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yep. Who else in the series has been cognates? I
I
can't
mean,
remember.
Alden used to be cognates with Quinlan.
Quinlan.
And I think
was Quinlan married? Oh,
Yeah,
they
to
got
Livy.
divorced.
Well, they never got divorced. She was like, you never would file the mismatch.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
mismatch.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of funny.
And then I think Prentice and Tiergan were cognates. Or no, it's been hinted out that Tiergan could have been cognates with someone and we don't know who it was.
Yes.
But he didn't want to do it because he was too private.
Yep, that's what it was. Because I was going to say
Yeah.
that's interesting because Prentice was married, but that's not true.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Yeah. Okay, then Grady shows up.
Yeah.
And has been standing there listening.
Grady's so... I love Grady.
Yes.
He's such a good dad, too.
Mm-hmm. And then the end of the chapter.
It was
when
adorable.
she says, I miss you, it's better when you're around.
I know! And, like, also so true. The vibe of the books that Keith, like, isn't in, it's so different from the vibe of the books that he is in.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out how to conjugate that verb.
And
But yeah, it's like this has such a different vibe from like never seen when he's there all the time, or like this is so much more Lodestar. I don't know why.
It's
you know
cool
what I
to
mean.
see her missing him. It's
know.
like,
And like actually thinking about it. Not that she
and
wasn't
having to figure things out on her own, but like realizing she's better with him also, you know?
Yeah. I also think it's kind of funny because my obligatory Orly mention that every time Keith is gone, it's like the first thing Orly said. Like, so in Lodestar, whenever Sophie visits her and asks, can we meet with Gethin? Orly's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They talk, and she's like, so where's Keith? And then in this book, whenever she goes to do the Forgotten Secret thing, Orly's like, so where's Keith? Immediately. So I think that it's really funny, and Sophie's emotions must make it really obvious. Like, just immediately, like, Keith isn't here and I'm in distress.
Yes.
All right, we said we're going through 30 and 31, right?
We're gonna try. I'm really hungry though, so.
Okay. Do you have any notes for
Okay.
I don't have any notes for them, but I'm willing to go with you do.
I have my summaries. So we
Okay.
have, the notes are Magnet Leto and Sophie update. They talk about the Nox flares. They talk about cognates and marriage. We should definitely drop in on that.
Yeah.
Then the second meeting, and then the trolls. So let's skim because I think it's informational heavy, but nothing super to talk a lot about.
I know that they talked again about the cash system. It may comfort you to know Council Orly has raised several issues with the cash system. She's just immediately like, okay, so I'm gonna...
Wait, I'm lost. Where are we?
Sorry, I'm on page 486. This is in 30.
Is it the beginning or?
It's near the beginning, 486. I don't know if it's the very first thing they talk about, so...
Okay, go ahead.
Basically, every time I'm trying to think of the other example of this. She's just so immediate with the okay, counselors, now we're going to talk about this thing. As soon as she learns information from the Black Swan, she's way more direct than she was before. Thinking about how this kind of started in Never Seen, whenever she just kind of shows up and she's like, hey, Sophie, here's a secret imparter to contact me directly. Also, here's Connect's Cash. Bye. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I'm like, dude, you're gonna get yourself kicked off the council if you don't chill.
Yeah. Wait, where are you? I'm very lost.
It's on page 486.
Nothing.
And Sophie's like, should we just pretend all the bad stuff the counselors did never happened? That's just as pointless as burying secrets in their caches. We need to start digging this stuff up and calling it out so we can deal with it before the Never Seen use it against us. And Magnet Leto is like, then it may comfort you to know that Counselor Orly has raised several issues with the cache system. I'm not sure what alternatives she suggested, but she told me the council is giving it serious consideration. And she's also been working to locate Elysian.
Yeah, she's quick, you're right.
And looking for Kenrick's belongings, and she's searching Hushwood. And I'm like, okay, I think that is the right move, and she's clearly kind of Sophie is now starting to just take action without thinking about it for a long time. She's doing the same thing. But she would have had to mention that she opened Kenrick's cache, right? I don't know. It feels like she's being a little bit more straightforward with this stuff, but I also feel like she's gonna... I've had a feeling, and it's been building in the last few series, that she's about to get caught with the with the whole Project Moonlark stuff.
Yeah. Because,
and, like, she, like I said, she has the tell. I think Bronn already knows. I think that he found out because it's obvious. And I think that he's trying to cover for her, but I also think that she's going to get caught.
Yep, I agree. Honestly. Because they can't keep that secret forever.
Right. And, there's something else related to it. Oh. Okay. I don't know if I've said this directly before, because I know I mentioned it with Lord Cassius, but empaths shatter more easily. She's had, in the past, like, 1.5 years, Kenrick dying, and she feels like it's her fault because she suspected
we've talked about this a lot, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then Forkle literally died in front of her, defending her.
Yeah.
She feels like it's her fault.
Yeah.
The easiest way to trigger tears is to remind myself of how much you hate me, to Sophie. She's, like, paling the whole time. I don't know. Like, if she gets kicked off the council, too. I don't know. I used to feel like you were super right about that, but I'm not sure now. But I'm not counting it out. Like, but there's just so much building up. Like, something's about to happen, and it's going to be big like that.
Yeah. I was going to say something about this. Don't know what. I'm looking. Also, I can hear a little background noise in yours. I don't know if you can fix that, but yeah, like
what
music.
Do you hear?
Music.
Oh, yeah. That's, like, super far away. It's the fair. It's a couple miles away. I can't do anything about it.
That's funny. Okay, cool.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Hold on. What was I going to say? Oh, I think, okay. Do you want to still talk about Orly?
I think that was all there was about that. Just, like, she's immediately bringing up stuff. And I think it's interesting that the counselors were actually considering moving away from the catches when last time when Kenrick suggested it, they were like, nope.
Okay, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think it's because when you were just talking about her behavior, it's because Orly's mission has now shifted from keep this a secret from Sophie and be careful to, okay, now I support my daughter however I can. Like,
and what else is there to lose? Sophie hates me. True. Kenrick's dead.
Yeah.
Bront knows my secret and could expose me at any point.
Yeah.
I already know these forgotten secrets. My sanity's probably shattering. What else is there to lose?
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of crazy.
It is, yeah. Okay, I have a note. I don't know what this note means, but I have a note at the very beginning of 30 when Sophie rushes up there and then he says, "You can relax, Miss Foster, nothing has happened." I said, "Oh?" I don't know why I said that, but that's a note.
Apparently the Nox flares are an elven plant hybridized long ago by the ancient counselors. For a moment, Sophie thought that proved the blossoms actually were important. But then when she voiced that theory, her mentor laughed, and he said, the ancient counselors believed that they should be masters of all in order to rule all, so they spent a great deal of time trying to do things that were better suited for the other species. They created their own microbiology experiments like the ogres, tried building tunnels like the dwarves, smelted gold like the goblins, shifted the tides, like the trolls, and designed plants like the gnomes. But most of their efforts were such obvious failures that they finally admitted that certain skills were better left to other species. The Noxflares were part of that, and her mentor assured her that every gnome who's ever tended to the blossoms would agree that they're unnecessarily temperamental and predictably grumpy, whatever that meant.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I've been wondering if the Inquisition would be necessary for quite some time. I hope you realize how truly valuable the process is. Yes, this is where we get into the cognates and marriage. I've known one other pair of cognates who saved their connection that way. Counselor Emery. Only one set of cognates has ever been saved through the Inquisition, and this is a thing we're deciding to do?
This is one that only Magnet Leto knows of.
Oh, okay.
Technically.
Counselor Emery and his former partner, and Sophie's like, former? And he says, oh, yeah, they actually, it did work out, but counselors aren't allowed to have cognates. They keep too many secrets. Plus, it creates a bond that's similar in many ways to a marriage, because they have to know everything
My
about
note
each
there
other
is,
and whatever.
excuse me? What?
Well, it's because they have to know everything about each other
Yeah.
and keep all of each other's secrets and whatever. Wow, okay.
So Emery had to end the partnership, have no biases. Before that, the Inquisition transformed his power. This is a random explanation, but it doesn't feel too important. It feels like something.
It feels like an aside.
Yeah.
It feels like Sophie, to me, feels like Do you think, okay, opinion, do you think Sophie and Fitz would continue being cognates if Sophie and Keith were, like, married?
Yes.
I think so, too.
Yeah. Only because now they've got the romance stuff out of the way, and Sophie's not gonna be like, oh, but Fitz sees me as I am. She's realizing he doesn't see her.
Yeah.
And their relationship it went from brother and sister to weird attempt at a relationship to I don't think they'll go back.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll feel weird about it after.
Eventually.
After
Like, it'll be like Sophie.
You know what? Fitz has to get married, though. Either that, or be a counselor.
That's what I was going to say, because he would, like, totally,
yeah.
that would fit him. But I also wonder if they're going to be like, counselors should be able to get married. I wonder if that's going to be part of the thing that they decide to overturn.
That's true. Forgot about that. Yep. So I think it'll work if Fitz also gets married, realizes he didn't really love Sophie. It was different once he actually loves someone for who they are, not who he thinks they are. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're just friends. No way. And then Fitz and Keith have to heal their relationship also. Then I think it would work. Because it's not like they're, I don't know, spending a lot of time bonding. They just can't hide things that are relevant to their relationship. Yeah.
Right.
They're spending time doing stuff like work partners almost. I don't know.
It's not exactly the same as a marriage. It's just like has a similarity that you can't hide stuff from the other person. Yeah.
But it's only things that are relevant to them, really. Because I mean, Sophie is still continuing to hide the stuff about, which maybe that's where they went wrong, because Fitz is like, you have to tell me about your mom. But she's like, actually, no, I don't. But Fitz has in his mind that they have to share everything. Well, they don't actually have to share everything. They just have to share.
Because that's a false assumption, just the relevant things.
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, related, do you think that they will no. Do you think that one of the injustices in the lost cities that, like, Sophie's going to feel like she needs to fix is that counselors can't get married? Or do you think that that's the thing that they should leave in place?
No, technically, counselors should be able to get married.
Really? I was going to say, technically, I don't see... Because they can always stop being a counselor. Like, they aren't stuck there forever.
It's like priests.
You can stop being a priest.
No, I think that's probably where my answer comes from, because as a Christian, family is good. Or not family is good. That's fine, too. But family is a beautiful thing, and so you should be able to choose whether you want to have a family or not. And
but they
that
can.
makes
they
you
just have to not be a counselor.
Yeah, but like it can make you a better leader, I think.
Oh, that's true. I agree with it in that sense. I do understand not like it does eliminate a lot of the potential for, like, how do I put it? A lot of the potential for, like, what's the
bias?
word? Well, not just bias, but, like, specifically corruption, like trying to get all of this power and money and, like, create rules and, you know, get by rules that specifically help your family. Yeah. Not that they don't have parents and siblings, but, like...
But family also, if you're the right person, it can also make you selfless and empathetic.
Yeah. Well, and, like, we see that in Orly.
Yeah. And you can be a counselor and be selfish without a family.
That's true.
You're just more selfish.
Yeah, you're more selfish because you're only enacting things for yourself versus trying to actually work for the better of the world because you have this kid who has to grow up in it.
Also, it's not like counselors don't have parents, which has never been brought up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They do. That's kind of a wild concept. Like, you're a counselor over your own parents. They'll have to, like, bow to you and stuff.
And siblings. Like, you can't just cut off your siblings. You can still have. Yeah, I think it causes more pain than, you know. Like, have single people on the council. Have people with families on the council.
Yeah, a mix of
have people with no kids. Have people with kids. Yeah. It's fine. Have grandparents.
Yeah.
You know.
A lot of them are probably grandparents by the time they get there anyways.
Yeah. I wonder
Well, no, I guess they aren't now, but, like, they could be, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because if you're a grandparent, you can't just join the children.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever want to be a counselor, you can't have kids, which is interesting.
I wonder if part of it was, like, to keep the counselors relatively young. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, the counselors are most likely relatively young.
Yeah.
Except Bront. What is he doing? He's just been a counselor. Because that's the thing. Because if you aren't on the council and, like, you aren't thinking about it, after a few hundred years, in all likelihood, like, hundreds of years, you're going to, at some point, fall in love.
Yeah. However, that's another thing, is if you get your matchlets young, and then you meet someone.
Yeah.
You're a bad match.
That's the whole Coralie thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But you have, like, you only have a certain window, really. Certain amount of people to fall in love with. Otherwise, you end up a bad match. Like, it's just... No,
that's such a bad system.
Yeah, it is.
I think, but, okay, having it where the counselors can't be married also does mean that there's a transfer of power that has to happen at some point. Like, because this way, like, if they can get married and stay on the council, then they never have to leave. Like, they can just stay there forever. What makes them ever want to leave?
They get ancient.
And then they just
get tired. Yeah. Well, I mean, because Bront clearly hasn't left, and he's ancient. So,
he's just chilling. But also, like, Fallenbacher clearly couldn't be a counselor anymore. But, like, what makes him leave?
We just need terms.
Oh.
Didn't he leave because... Wait. Yeah, duh. Didn't he leave because he fell in love? I feel like we found this last episode.
Well, yeah, because he's married.
I'm looking. Yeah. I think it literally says he left because he fell in love.
Did you know that, like, Velia almost quit right after she joined the council?
Yeah, he resigned to marry.
Ramira. So one of the counselors, one of the girl counselors, almost quit right after she joined, and nobody knows why except the other counselors.
Huh?
Yeah. I know random lore on the counselors.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but I know it's real because I like saw it on the wiki and I was like, see, I knew it's real. I have no idea what book it's mentioned in. Oh, no, I think it's in Unlocked. I think it's in her description.
Oh.
It's like she almost quit right after she joined, and no one except her fellow counselors knows why.
Wait. What does she look like? Hold on. What does she look like?
Who? The counselor?
I have an image.
I don't know.
Wait. The council. Hold on. I just had a thought.
No one
I just typed in the council expecting it to come up.
To what book?
I got the Council of Trent. I just typed in Google.
I do that sometimes. I'm like, yeah, it's Zarina.
Okay.
Not long after her election, Counselor Zarina considered resignation. No one except her fellow counselors knows why.
Huh.
She's the one who zapped the thing and almost killed Fitz, so I like her.
Ah. Interesting. I don't know why the image of her in my head is completely different than how she looks. Okay, never mind. Ignore that. Okay.
Yeah, Velia is a map expert. Ramira's cache contains the most secrets, but obviously because she's a vanisher.
Okay, I'm hungry. Let's go back to the book.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Do you have any other thoughts on this chapter?
I do. You're going to laugh.
Oh, no.
So I found a random note I left here, and it says, well, hold on. I'm going to read what happens right before it says. And it says, you know what? I'll just tell you what it says. It says, what is his problem? It's about Forkle.
Yeah. Who says this?
So,
what is it about? I mean,
me saying this to Forkle. Okay, so it's where they're arguing about O'Reilly and Hushwood. Or he assumed she'd find Hushwood if anything happened to him, Sophie mumbles. Also possible, I'm sure O'Reilly prefers my explanation. Either way, she's searching Hushwood. What about our search? Sophie asked, definitely not in the mood to spend a bunch of time with Counselor O'Reilly. What are we doing to find Elysian? Nothing, he admitted. I realize you disagree with that decision, and you're welcome to make your own plans with your friends, but I've lost far too many years searching for rivers that do not exist. I'm not willing to lose any more, particularly when there are other projects that need my attention. Like what? Sophie demanded. Reviewing detention reports, arranging parent-mentor conferences,
I'm not gonna
writing more speeches to give during morning orientations. You say that with such disdain, he noted, and that's where I put, what is his problem?
No, it's a fair point, because those are things you can definitely pull out of your butt if you need to, but... What was my point?
I don't know what your point was.
I'm agreeing with Sophie. I'm saying, like, yeah, you don't need to spend time on those things, because, like, there are bigger things going on, and he can definitely just, like, pull those out of his butt. Like, he can definitely just decide, I'm going to say this, because, like, they're elves and they're smart. They do take time, though, if you actually try.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah. And then he's like, the morale in our world has improved. And she's like, whatever, I don't care.
You're giving
Oh
the
my
people false
gosh.
hope.
I've spent too many years searching for rivers that do not exist.
That is such a
Once
specific
again-
issue to have with rivers, man.
Once again, who pooped in his mellow milk? Okay.
Let's make that a thing.
Yeah. Seriously. He's so annoying.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Cassius shows up and is like, war.
Yeah.
And then we're on 31.
All right.
And Sophie's filling in her friends. And
yeah.
she's picturing trolls surrounding
Again.
lost cities.
That was something. Trolls are
Yep.
weird. I remember, okay, but in Lodestar, all of the other intelligent species, literally everyone besides the ogres, because the ogres were just like, we're done, we want to leave us alone, and we'll leave you alone. But all of the other intelligent species were kind of like, Fenton's kind of right. Those humans do get to do whatever they want. So, like, we came up with a theory around that time, like, the Neverseen are just trying to turn each of the other intelligent species against the elves, and then they're going to be able to, like, all raid the elves together or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, this all makes sense. We kind of predicted this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty much. Specifically against the council, not just elves, but council.
You're right. The
and
council specifically.
Council plus humans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is just what we have here, is everybody's like, actually, they are a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's the problem. Like, I don't think humans are the problem. I think the way they've dealt with humans is the problem.
Yep. But then, okay, so they're specifically talking about trolls here. And Walter says, is this peace? Walter asked, crossing his arms, or forced submission? Either way, Sander jumped in, glaring at Walter until he shrank back a step. The threat should not be taken lightly.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fitz is like, the council's on it. They're fine.
Of course you would say that, Fitzroy.
Fitzroy.
I feel like we missed the
Yeah.
opportunity to use his full name.
That's true. Yep. And then Jaycie's here for some reason, which is great.
He's back. It's so that we can
He's
tell
back.
everyone that he's talentless, and then we can all
Do
think
they
it's
do
a
that?
problem. Or no, but we're going to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fair.
It's just in my brain.
Yeah. I'm skimming, looking for anything interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember anything super
Morella-
important from this, but
Yeah. Morella talks about Fenton a little bit.
really?
Yeah, okay, so I'll
yeah.
read it.
She
Yeah.
talks about the memory that we have in the deleted scene, not deleted scene, Lynn
Yeah.
POV. Or
Yeah.
wow, Morella. Anyways, sorry. Say what
I
you were
still
gonna
haven't
say.
read that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just skimming for anything interesting in Morella's conversation.
This is the
Talking about Nox flares.
the memory, the like Morella's perspective
Yeah.
chapter. This is what it is. Where Fenton like burns his flowers, and he just says something's missing. Something's missing.
Yeah.
And that's-
okay.
Yeah.
Nox flares are full of possibility, but they need to burn.
This is like
Burn
kind of
Nox
such like
flares.
it's not a misdirect because it like technically Nox flares are in Elysian and like they burn them, but also it's such a misdirect because how are we ever supposed to guess that you're supposed to burn them so they can burn and then there's a illusion which leads to a portal which leads to a person
Yeah.
in Elysian who we don't know what they do. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we're gathering information which ends up being useful for 5 seconds.
It's useful, but also it's not because
Yeah.
it's a misdirect. Like it's yeah.
Yeah.
The
Which
thing
is
it's
like
leading to
good.
itself
I'm
is a
glad
misdirect.
she did that. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I'm
it's
glad
not just,
she
like,
did that.
Obvious.
Yeah.
But whew.
Mm-hmm.
Reading this, I was definitely like, oh, okay, Nox flares, okay, and they're gone. Okay.
Yep. We got the thing. Thing's
Yeah.
gone. Okay.
And Fenton's obsessed with them. Did Fenton say that he created them, or is he just obsessed with them?
I don't. I'll check the wiki. I don't think he says that, but that's a good thought.
I know that Balefire is his trademark.
Ooh, is this somebody's drawing of a Nox flare? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought those were cool. I did see those.
Typically green. grown with dark green. Oh, that's interesting. It's vibrant red and orange, which is like the same color as everything else in Elysian.
Oh, you're right.
I pictured that for some reason.
And
I pictured
Kenric's
them
Wonderling.
as. Yeah, I pictured them as purple. I have no idea why.
Well,
It
because
just
they burn with
feels
like purple
purple.
fire, right?
Oh, okay, that's why.
I could be wrong.
I think you're right. Okay. I don't think we know. It's ancient counselors. I'm sure he helped, make them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, or
The
they say
comments.
right here on this page, it could be that Fenton was the counselor who created Nox flares in the
Oh.
first place, and that's what these memories are about.
I swear, half the things we say, Sophie already
5
said.
seconds
or
later,
someone.
Sophie's like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so true.
And Sophie's like, oh, maybe Fenton made the Nox flares, and then they're talking, and then they're like, oh, it wasn't random, Morella told him. Fenton said that he'd show me what Nox flares could do since I brought one back into his life. And why are you and Dex staring at each other like that? Fitz asked Sophie. That's just not how caches are supposed to work, Sophie said. No one knows what's in them until you play the actual memories. So Fenton must have opened his cache already, Dex added. He probably figured he might need to know what's in there if he was going to try to take over the world. Sophie nodded, but that means we really need to know what's in there too. I'm betting he shared what he learned with the rest of the Neverseen, and I find it hard to believe that out of 9 memories there's nothing important. Is there anything else we can trade with him? Okay. Pausing to say, I totally agree, because he has his memory of him burning alive his, 7 friends or whatever, which, yes, it's a famous thing, so obviously he'd have to remember it, but don't you think he would have deleted, the visuals of it?
For sure, yeah. Yeah.
But he remembered that, because that's the memory Sophie saw when they were, I think, breaking his mind in exile.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, he's looked at his back, probably when Kenric was interrogating him about the Nox, when he was burning the Nox flares, he definitely 100% has those
Why did
memories.
they not confiscate his catch?
Oh, I don't know. Well, because I think at that point, I get the vibes that was one of the investigations that Kenric just decided, this is my job now, and it wasn't an official thing from the council.
No, I'm
He was
talking
just
about when they healed him or what.
Well, that's the thing is I think that they might have confiscated it then, or they might have just not known where it was, but I don't think it would have mattered. I think that he looked at the memories in it way before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, for our
Oh, yeah, why
sake.
didn't they? Yeah. I don't know. They
Anyway.
probably didn't know where it was. There's not a lot you can do.
Let me add, this is proof that Kenric also probably knew what he was putting in his catch, because it shows, you can put stuff in the catch, then watch it. And
you can watch it.
Yeah, so he definitely knew what he was putting in there. He didn't.
Yeah.
I bet he watched them and then handed them to Orly. Because he wouldn't just hand her stuff.
No, he wouldn't hand her stuff, especially, I
Yeah.
fully suspect that there's stuff that he didn't put in there because he didn't want her to see it because he was worried.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, he was just that can just be forgotten forever instead because she can't know that.
Yep, totally.
What else do we have? Oh my goodness, the music is kind of so loud outside. This fair needs to chill.
So funny. Yeah. I had something else. I don't know what. Where were you reading that? Because I had a thought.
I'm a little bit after it now, but let me see. That part was whenever she's talking to everyone, so it's around page 508.
Okay. That's not how catches. Since I brought one back into his life. I had a thought, but it's gone forever.
Mr. Forkle's with Bront now. And now she's like, what did the trolls do? So the first time that Forkle's come see me, she goes and Cassius is with him and she's like, what did Keef do? And then she comes and sees him this time and she's like, what did the trolls do? Okay. Bront says that the trolls have refused to open any lines of communication. No, that's the end of chapter 31. Good timing, because that's the end of chapter 31. She goes to talk to them about the trolls, and Bront says, we need to talk to Trix as soon as possible. And that's all we have.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. And then next episode, we get into Trix.
Yes.
Which
This is just where it starts to get crazy.
Yeah.
This is where
We
the book,
made it.
I just was like, what's happening at any given time? I don't know.
Yes. We made. Oh yeah, because then they find out about Keith and they go get Keith and it just.
And then,
whew.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We made it through day 10. Finally, day 10.
Yeah.
Okay. We made it.
We made it.
Because I
10
went through
days.
and like count.
It's
ended it up.
512 pages in.
Holy cow! Really?
Yeah.
That far?
We're like way more. We're 3/4 of the way through.
What's
and we're
funny
10 days
is
in.
it's only like 5 of those days were talked about. The rest were skipped.
Yeah. That's
Gracious.
crazy. 100 pages
Yeah.
per day.
I
You're
love
getting
it though. It's
everything
great.
that happens besides her like peeing.
Yeah,
It's crazy
Sophie
how
never
she's
goes to the
literally
bathroom.
she's going from one place to another in another person's house and then she's crashing into bed. When is she peeing? Has she not showered?
That's true. Usually it brings up her showering, but
Yeah, she's not
feel
doing
like
that
it might
anymore.
have brought up. Oh, it might have brought up. I think she showers while Ro is there or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Because then she
She
because she
does
walks
not
out and
pee.
she's like, yeah, no, because she showers and that's when Ro dies Iggy and she's like,
You're
what?
right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she doesn't pee. Do elves go
We've
to...
never had an
have-
elfin
has-
toilet described. Do they have toilets?
That's true. Do they...
don't
how
know.
Do they pee?
Well, I feel like her human
They
mom would have
poop.
done a backflip if she didn't.
No, we know because of Keith that they poop. So you're right.
No, they totally do pee. But how does Sophie not for the entire... She has to be severely
Yeah.
dehydrated. I love how
That
serious we
fits.
are about this. We're like,
That
oh well,
fits.
Ro's dead. Why does Sophie not pee?
Wait, I want to see an elven bathroom now.
I kind of do. Well, we know about the
Do-
showers. We know that the shower is really cool where it's like
Did
a waterfall
elves?
or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Did elves invent toilets, or did they steal them from the humans?
Ooh. They have to have invented them because they're smarter. They have a technopath
Yeah.
but their toilets have to be way better. We've
It'd
never
be
had
pretty
an elven kitchen described in depth either.
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
we know that it exists
Wait.
because Sophie's in there. Oh, what were you gonna say? We'd be pretty.
Do they make... Wait, don't gnomes make the food and stuff? Well, Adeline bakes.
Right, Adeline bakes, and the kitchen was described as like super clean in the first book or something. But like we don't know. Do they have refrigerators? They have to.
Huh.
I just like decided because I was writing something, and I decided to just like, yep, temperature controlled cabinets that are made of crystal.
Makes sense.
That's what I
Cool.
decided. But like, what is it for real? I want to know.
That's what Unlocked should have been. Tell us about it.
The kitchens, the toilets. We want to know it all.
Oh my god.
Do they have indoor plumbing? Do they have
Do
air
they-
conditioning?
Do they have
Or is
trash?
it just a guster?
Do they throw out their
Ooh.
trash? I bet
That's
they
a good
recycle.
question because, yeah, they totally have to recycle. Some technopaths come up with something for this.
Do they have paper? I don't... Oh, they do have paper, but like
Do they?
scrolls.
They have, like,
old
scrolls. Ooh, they have to kill
But
trees for that?
nowadays... No, but nowadays, I don't think they have scrolls.
They mostly use those little devices.
They
that
use
Brady
those little
uses.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Just
the
like
trees that
us.
are... Yeah.
This implies there was
Yeah.
a time before their technopaths could figure out, like, technology.
Mm-hmm.
Or that they just
Okay,
used to
we
be
need
extra
to end
fancy.
here before my AirPod dies.
Yeah, you're so right.
And before I die, because I'm
Well, I
hungry.
have to cut this down. So hopefully this can be one episode after I take out all of the extra spaces.
Jaycie.
Anyways,
Jaycie,
yeah.
don't kid yourself. This is 2.
No, it's gonna be like 5 parts. That's
No,
ridiculous.
because then you're... Oh, listen. It's fine. It is all
It's
good.
fine.
We'll just have to start... We need to start putting chapters in the names or the
Yeah.
descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
But we should go back and do that if that's possible. I don't know if it is, but...
You can let me know.
Oh,
I'll put it in the
okay.
title. No, I'll figure
Okay,
out how
cool.
to do it. I can look at the beginning of this episode because I know which one we ended in. I know we went to chapter
Okay.
23 and I got it. All right.
Great,
Anyways,
great.
thank you guys for listening.
Yes, thank you. I hope you
And-
enjoyed this. This was fun.
It was really fun. And we will
We
continue
figured out
next
some
time
stuff.
with... Yeah, and we talked about a lot of other stuff. We talked about like the whole Kendrick Prentice thing, some stuff about what could be in
Yeah.
the Keith story, the 9.5.
Cognates, counselors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went on some rabbit
Well-
trails, but they were interesting,
Mhm.
hopefully.
Yep. I think they'll all be relevant either
think
to
so.
the end of the book or to the rest of the series.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
I'm excited.
Bye, Sydney.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Forbidden Cities podcast. Leave us a review and tell a friend about the podcast if you liked us. Email us with comments and episode suggestions at theforbiddencitiespodcast@gmail.com, and to follow us on Instagram, just search @Forbidden Cities Podcast.